Hello everyone, I'm Ellie, and this is, well, it's not Naked English anymore. I've decided to rename it to English Exposed. I've decided this for two reasons. One, I have young learners that watch this channel, and that word seems to make them feel a little uncomfortable, and I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. The other reason I want to change it is that it's a serious series. And I want people to watch it for the information. I want this series to be something that will help you. And you can look at some different websites and maybe find something that you might find useful in learning English as a second language. Some people say that learning English online through videos or movies or websites is not a good idea, and it's not the best way, which I would agree with that, because not all of the information you find is correct, and not all of the information is useful. I think the best way to learn a language is through self-study and with a qualified teacher, someone that you like, someone that you can work with. This series is based on my opinions of each of the websites that we look at. I know how difficult it is to learn another language. I've been teaching since 2004. I also have a degree in communications and marketing, as well as a CELTA certificate. But as I've said, you should find a qualified teacher to help you along with that process. There are a lot of people out there that promise a quick way to learn a language, but each individual student will learn things in a different way at their own pace and time. There is no cure-all for learning a second language quickly. So I hope that this series will help you decide what websites are going to be useful to you. Let's look at our websites today. Today, we'll look at one website instead of two or three. EnglishPage.com is my favorite grammar website. And I want to show you how terrific it is at explaining grammar points. I think the best part of this website is their grammar book. I've used it a number of times to help me prepare for a grammar lesson. It has a long list of items to choose from. You can find just about anything, from conditionals to verb tenses. It even guides you as to what you should be studying. As you can see, it explains each of the verbs, and it also gives you some examples of correct and incorrect ways to use them. The sidebar clearly states what you will find. I also love the complete lists they have on this site. Here's one for continuous forms. They give you examples of both positive and negative forms, and also gives you an example of how it's used in a question. Now take a look at the simple past forms. Here too you can see example sentences and diagrams explaining each form. If we scroll down a bit, there are example exercises. Let's try one. I'm sure you've seen this format before. Sentences with blanks and little hints on the side. So I went ahead and filled in the blanks, otherwise we'd be here all day. And I've made a few mistakes to show you what happens. I should first talk about the hint button at the bottom. If you can't think of the word or words, you can click on this hint tab and it will give you the first letter, like this. And it tells you that a correct letter has been added. You can do this as many times as you'd like, but it will hurt your overall score. Now that everything is filled in, let's check our work. Remember, I've made a few mistakes, so don't be too surprised. My score is 67%. When you do these practice tests, don't focus on what you got wrong. Give yourself a, yay, I got 67% right. I'm over 50% right. So many of my students get upset when they get a low score on a practice test. Sweethearts, it's just a practice test. This is just preparation. Okay, so it says some of your answers are incorrect, but I don't see the word stupid there. Do you? No. We have a chance now to change our answers to get a better score. Let's do that, okay? You can see that the words in bold are correct, and the white boxes are incorrect answers. If we look at the question, it says, what were you doing? I know that when the question uses the word grouping of were doing, it means that I must use a form of be, am, is, was, were, are. And since the words were and you are being used, I must answer with I was, and doing is always a verb, and it will end in ing, because doing is ing. My answer should be, I was trying to change the light bulb that had burnt out. And when I scroll down and click check, my score went up. Now, scrolling back up, you can see that the answer is now bold, correct. There is one problem with this sort of quiz. There's no room for other possibilities, like in this sentence. I know I have to write the answer in past tense. The word found is the past tense of find, and the past tense of go is went. But where do I put the word immediately? Both are correct, but here there is only one correct answer. I went immediately to the police. And check it, and it's correct. Here's another question with the word grouping, where were you? And the answer should be in past tense because we use were. The action ends in ing. Now remember that these verbs ending in ing are the past continuous tense. Some teachers call past progressive. Same damn thing. Anyway, here's the answer. I was working. Check, and it's correct. The next sentence starts with when I walked. I know that when I walked is a word grouping, and I know that something else was doing something or an action with ing. And the secretary is a she, so I must use was. Look. When I walked into the office, the secretary was talking on the phone with a customer. Several clerks were working busily at their desk, or busily working is fine too here, but it's marked as wrong. And two managers were discussing quietly methods to improve customer service. Do you see the word when in this sentence? That means that the verb has to use ing. The next one is a spelling error. You must spell things correctly. Otherwise, it'll be marked as incorrect. You get the idea. Your score goes up as you make the corrections. It won't be a perfect score because of the errors, but it will give you the practice you need. And you can always refresh the page and try again. Now here's something that is also useful on this site. There are many tutorials. These can be quite useful to those teachers out there as well. If you need an idea for a lesson, this is a good place to start. And there are things here you can read. Just look at all the newspaper sites. And it's free. And I also like the different things you can listen to. Here's an example. Music. And podcasts.
Looking ahead to our last day, many of our friends and colleagues have been faced with a dilemma. Well, how do you say goodbye? For many of us, finding the right words can be.
And these podcasts usually include the transcript as well. The one thing that is lacking here is the game section. There's only one game, and it's similar to Hangman. It's called Pop Wordy. It's fun and easy to play, but I wish there were other games here. Finally, we have two dictionaries, one for phrasal verbs and one for verbs and prepositions. Let's quickly look at the phrasal verb dictionary. The letters on the left help you to search for things quickly. It gives you the word and an example. And the verb and preposition dictionary does the same thing. Now you know why I like this website. I hope you find it useful too. I'll post the link below, or you can visit my website at iteachtohelp.com. Well, that ends this episode. I'll be posting another one in about 4 weeks. This series will post once a month, and you can check out my events calendar to find out when the next video will be posted. However, I am still doing the Obama in Wonderland series, and that posts weekly. I also surprise you with extra videos when I find time to do them. Okay? So make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye!